Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root of Root for America. My latest book is titled Trump Rules. It's about the one-of-a-kind rules that have empowered Donald J. Trump to become perhaps the greatest warrior and winner in the history of American business and politics. I'm proud and honored to report my book has been a #1 bestseller at Amazon for most of the past 2 months in a dozen business and political categories. But I'm sure millions of liberals and assorted Democrats with Trump derangement syndrome and never Trump rhinos would ask the question, how is Trump a winner, Wayne, when he just lost the presidency? Well, that's a valid question. I hope you're sitting down. Please buckle your seatbelts. Here's my bold answer. First, whether President Trump wins or loses this election, he's already established his legacy as one of the, if not the, biggest winner in America's great history. He's the only human being in history to become a billionaire businessman and president of the United States and commander of the military and leader of the free world and produce the greatest TV hit ever, Celebrity Apprentice, and the biggest book seller, The Art of the Deal. That's a pretty good resume. He's the only human being in history to reach the pinnacle of business, real estate, branding, celebrity, Hollywood, publishing, and politics. He's built and owned the most iconic buildings and golf courses in America. He's had one of the biggest best-selling books ever, Art of the Deal, as I said. Produced and starred one of the most successful reality TV shows ever, as I said, Celebrity Apprentice. The list is amazing. Trump's certainly one of the most talked about human beings in world history. Love him or hate him, other than Jesus or Muhammad, he's the guy whose name has been on the most lips ever. So yes, President Trump, regardless of whether he wins or loses this election, is one of the biggest winners ever. Now to the election. Trump won the biggest upset in U.S. presidential history in 2016. And in 2020, he added 11 million new votes. Did you know that? I'm guessing not, because the lying fake news mainstream media never mentions it. But Trump got over 11 million more votes than last time when he won. That's definitely the definition of a remarkable, one-of-a-kind winner. But that's not really the amazing part. Trump added over 11 million new voters under the most difficult circumstances ever experienced by any political leader in world history. It was 4 years of everyone against Trump. He was General Custer updated for the 21st century. Trump was surrounded, like Custer, by enemies from the media, Silicon Valley social media, Hollywood, lawyers, lobbyists, globalists, billionaires, unions, the DC swamp, the deep state, virtually every government agency and every federal employee. Everyone hated Trump. Trump faced 95% negative news coverage. Trump faced 95% negative polls that falsely painted him as a landslide loser. 24 hours a day, Trump was painted as evil, immoral, racist, Hitler, Nazi, KKK, white extremist, despicable, and deplorable. On social media, millions of his enemies wished him assassinated, tortured, imprisoned, or dead of COVID every hour of every day. In the face of all of that, Trump added over 11 million new voters. What if there had never been 95% negative news coverage or a Mueller investigation? What if there had never been false accusations of Russian collusion? What if there had never been impeachment hearings over a perfectly legal phone call with the president of Ukraine? What if none of that ever happened? Trump's powerhouse lawyers Lin Wood and Sidney Powell have both confidently stated that the election was stolen. They say Trump won by a massive landslide. They say they have proof that computer software was used to delete or switch millions of Trump votes. Okay, prove it. We already know in just one single Michigan county, 3,000 Trump votes were switched to Biden by mistake, thereby resulting in a change of 6,000 votes. We know that same Dominion software was used in 30 states, including all the important swing states. We already know in Georgia, just one batch of votes in one county was miscounted in a way that added over 9,600 votes for Joe Biden. How many other counties and states across the United States mislabeled or miscounted votes? And why was it always in favor of Biden? We saw the video in Georgia of Democrat frauds opening up suitcases with thousands of fake ballots as soon as they demanded all the GOP poll watchers had to leave the counting room for a flood from a burst pipe. But it's now proven there never was a flood and never was a burst pipe. They just wanted them out of the room so they could open the suitcases. We already know in Democrat-controlled cities across America, no Republican witnesses were allowed in the room as the votes were counted. How many millions of Trump votes could have been switched to Biden? There have been reports of Trump voters who physically voted, yet when they double-checked, their vote never registered. Many of my fans in Vegas report exactly that. There have been reports of Trump voters who showed up to vote, yet were told someone had already voted for them via mail-in ballot. My fans in Vegas had that exact thing happen to them. Brilliant and highly credible Trump lawyer Sidney Powell swears that Trump actually got over 80 million votes, not the 74 million that were counted. But is it possible he got even more? Without all that cheating, all that vote switching, and 4 years of fake news and fake polls to suppress Trump voters, I think it's easy to argue Trump might have been our first ever 100 million vote president. And that, my friends, is why I believe so strongly in the magical Trump rules. Here we go. I had to get it on my hands. Trump rules. Win or lose, President Trump is arguably the greatest warrior and winner in the history of American business and politics. And when it comes to this election, never say never. It sure looks bad now. The media thinks Trump is finished. The odds are certainly against him. But this chapter won't be finalized till January 20th. Trump is like Houdini. He's made miracles happen his whole life. And of course, he has the famous Trump rules. That's why I wrote the book. The mainstream media may be in for the shock of a lifetime. Never bet against Trump. But if he does lose in the end, I guarantee he'll be back soon, bigger and bolder than ever before. I'm Wayne Allyn Root of Root for America. God bless Trump, and God bless America.